the Capitol building of the United States of America. What a majestic edifice. This is one of a very few structures which is recognized the world over. When one sees a picture of this building in virtually any land, they know it's the American seat of government. This grand structure has been the scene of some of the most profound moments in America's history. In its 2 centuries of use, this building, these walls, these grounds, they've welcomed the voices of some of our greatest heroes. This building has survived some of America's most desperate and foreboding dangers, and some of the most important issues of American life and culture have been decided within these walls. Truly, this building has many diverse stories to tell. There are stories reflecting its architectural heritage, its political heritage, and its artistic heritage. But especially interesting are the stories reflecting its rich spiritual heritage. Unfortunately, the spiritual heritage of this building is little known by most Americans today. So that you may know and understand the deep roots of religious faith in American public life, join me as we take a spiritual heritage tour of the United States Capitol. Let's begin here with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Every individual in this painting, whether by voting or by signing, in some way contributed to the Declaration. Now, what are their religious beliefs? Let's begin with John Witherspoon. He was an ordained minister of the gospel and had several published books of gospel sermons, and was responsible for 2 American editions of the Bible, including this one from 1791. This Bible is considered America's very first family Bible. The Reverend Dr. Witherspoon wrote the introduction for this Bible, and even though the Bible's text is generally the text of the King James Bible, it does not carry that title. After all, the Americans, including Dr. Witherspoon, had just fought a war to be free of kings. So why would they herald the name of a king on this American edition of the Bible? This Bible, therefore, describes itself only as the Holy Bible, because, as Dr. Witherspoon pointed out, this was God's word, not the word of any mere king. John Witherspoon, signer of the Declaration and minister of the gospel, is responsible for America's very first family Bible. Notice that here in the current House chambers, prominently displayed above the Speaker's rostrum, is this declaration, "In God we trust." Notice, too, that around the top of the wall are images of great lawgivers from across the centuries, including Hammurabi, Justinian, Gregory, Grotius, Blackstone, and 18 others. In the middle, at the back, is Moses, symbolically looking down on the proceedings of the House. Significantly, Moses, the lawgiver of the Bible, is the only lawgiver who is honored with a full-face view. The more one learns of this building, of how religion was openly embraced and practiced here, of how strongly and how openly religious our founding fathers and early leaders actually were, the more illogical it is to assert that America's history requires her to maintain a secular, religion-free government and public society. Such simply is not the case. The Capitol building is filled with stories and accounts like those you've just seen. And although we've covered much, we've only touched the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Nevertheless, you've already seen enough to know that there truly is a deep and rich spiritual heritage here in the Capitol building, as well as in so many of the other monuments and structures throughout this great city. I encourage you to visit Washington, D.C., and especially to come see for yourself the wonderful heritage to be found here in the Capitol of the United States of America.